Should we open the vlog with this? Tell me when you got me perfect. Well, good morning and welcome to episode 2 of my angling adventures, and it literally couldn't have gone better. Can you throw me that net, Jay? Thanks, man. Not a lot of warmth here at all. God, still got a lot of power. That's it, that's turned him. That's turned him, there he is. Big gulper there. In the net you go, please. Oh, yes. Oh, got him. Well, how about that? That is what you call getting it right. That is unbelievable. After yesterday's disasters, which I'll talk about later, that has been a red letter morning. I've got 4 fish to show you now, and one of them is really, really special. Well, is there a better way to start a morning than a hard fighting male common like that? Look at him flexing up. What a beautiful, beautiful creature. And it's been the result of what's been a really manic morning. Started with travesty yesterday, and I'll explain to you more a bit later on. I got down here 24 hours earlier than the cameraman, but he's rocked up this morning in the nick of time, and I've managed 4 beautiful fish, this being the last one. And I've had a lovely low 20 mirror, a lovely sandy one, really nice fish, and another beautiful long common. But we have got a really, really special one in the sack down there to show you, and it's a big one too. So I'm going to get a couple of snaps of this one, and then I'll go and get that beautiful big mirror out and show you what we got. Absolutely scale perfect. He's still flexing that dorsal, look at that. Lovely. Let's have a look at the next one. Well, I said this was an impressive carp, and for me, mirrors don't come much better. Full of character, full of scales, and at just over 37 pounds, 37.1. It's a seriously big carp, and if it lets me hold it up, it's quite awkward to hold. It's a big old square unit. Look at that, folded over dorsal, little crinkly tail, and those apple slice scales. What a fish. Now, as I said before, welcome to episode 2 of my angling adventures, and we couldn't have started it off in better fashion. A 4 fish haul this morning, topped by this absolutely magnificent mirror. Loads going on in this episode, including another competition where you'll be able to win 2 of the new Downpour bags that we've got in the range. So I'm going to get some nice catch shots of this, stick the kettle on for Gaz because I think he's earned it, and we'll get this show started. One last look at this magnificent fish. Just look at that. What a fish. Thank you very much for popping in. Can make someone else's morning. What a truly, truly incredible carp. Tastes better, don't they, when you've had a morning like that? You ready? Well, how about that? That was absolutely remarkable this morning. 4 fish, and the quality of them was just unbelievable, especially that last mirror. But as I mentioned, it hasn't all been plain sailing. If I'm honest, I've had a little bit of a beast this session up until that point. Now, I got here 24 hours before Gaz, the cameraman, and it all looked great. I got in the area I wanted to be in, which is a swim that's been really productive for me over the last sort of 12, 18 months. It commands a nice bit of open water, and it also gives you an option for a snag, which in this nice weather at the moment is a great option for the daytime. Now, I've got that rod sorted straight away, and I've actually lost 3 fish fishing that snag. I don't even know what to say about it really. It's just absolute disaster after disaster. The first one I got halfway back and it just hook pulled. The second one took me around a concrete plinth, which is halfway down this side, which is just so unlucky. By the time I'd pumped it back, it could have gone right, could have come towards me, but it decided to do the one thing it couldn't do. And then the last one took me straight round the corner into the snag, and I actually had to get the bailiff out with the boat. We had it on for a while, but unfortunately it cut loose and we lost it. So decided to bring that rod in the end off the snag. I wasn't going to go losing another one. My head was gone at that point, and decided to put all my eggs in the open water spot. So put a nice hit of bait out last night, pulled that rod in off the snag, got the rods out in open water, and obviously the rest is history because we've been rewarded with those 4 beautiful fish this morning. Now, I'm not going to give up on that rod though on the snag. What I'm going to do now, while the sun's up for today, I'm going to reposition it, but I'm going to come a little bit further up the snag to a second little point where I can fish to. It will give me a little bit more time, if it goes, to be able to get it back past the sort of snags that are down this left-hand margin that are causing me all that grief, and hopefully we can land one. So I'm going to get that rod into position now, and once I've done that, I'm going to show you 2 of the new items that are coming this autumn in the Downpour range. That's the Downpour carryall and the Downpour bed chair bag. So let's get that rod out first, and then I'll talk you through those items. Right, let's have another go. See if we're a bit more lucky today. I'm going to put a little foam nugget on that. I don't normally when I'm fishing up to snags, but this particular one's got quite a lot of stuff just on the edge. And I just want to know that that rig has settled down perfect. Right, here we go. That is a bite. Few 18mm cell. Pop down with the old spawn. Let me introduce 2 of the latest additions to our luggage range, the Downpour carryall and the Downpour bed chair bag. Now, if we start with the Downpour carryall, I was sent this about 12 months ago, and when I first got it I was wondering what I was going to use it for. And as it's ended up, I've been using it for all my wet stuff. Now, by that I mean when I've finished a session, I've been putting my waders in here, all my wet clothes if I've been lucky enough to catch a fish, wet hoodie, if I've been stuck in the rain, and this has been fantastic. Because the seams are heat sealed, it's completely waterproof, and that means I can put all my wet stuff and smelly stuff in it, put it back in the car. 1, it's not going to make the car stink, and 2, when I get home I know where all my wet clobber is that I've got to get out, hang up and put in the washing machine. Now, it's also fantastic for keeping dry clothes in and fresh clothes. Because it's waterproof, as I say, if you're not using a ground sheet, for example, you can slide it underneath your bed chair. You know the damp's not going to draw up and damage any of your clothes, and you know everything's going to be dry, warm and safe. Now onto the Downpour bed bag. Now, this is a great addition into the range. Now, we've all been there, barring our kit round in the rain, petrified our sleeping bag's going to get soaked. Well, this solves all them problems. As it's 100% waterproof with its heat sealed seams, you can be rest assured your sleeping bag and bed's going to stay nice and dry. Now, another great feature about this is when you come to go home. Now, if you don't use a ground sheet like myself, your bed and feet get quite dirty. Great thing about this bag, you can just drop it in at the end of the session, zip it up, clip it down, and you know everything going back in your car is clean and tidy. So there you have it. There's 2 great new additions into the luggage range. They're both made from the heavy duty Downpour fabric, heavy duty carry straps throughout. But if you want any more details on these products, visit your local Trakker stockist. And don't forget, hang around to the end of this film where you'll get a chance to win one of these fantastic items. Well, unfortunately, the snag rod hasn't produced this afternoon. It looked great for it as well. Sun was shining lovely on that back margin, but you never get 2 days the same, I suppose. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop up the shop and get a few supplies. Then I'm going to come back, wrap up all 3 rods back out on my open water spot, give it a nice hit of bait, and see hopefully if we can have a fish tomorrow morning to sign off with. And you never know, we might have another morning like this morning. Well, before I get my mix out on the spot tonight, I thought I'd talk you through how I prepare it. Now, first of all, I get a load of 15mm cell and make them into halves. I then add a decent helping of Activate pellet. I like loads of that, sits in the swim for ages, it's got a really nice breakdown time. Following on from that will be a load of cell 10mm. Nice helping of them. And then I'll finish the whole thing off with a good dousing of the cell activated ground bait. Now once I've put that in, all that's left to do is to wind that up and then add a little bit of lake water just to give it a little bit more solidness for going in the spawn. And then we're going to get it out on that spot, and hopefully tonight we can winkle another carp out. Well, last rod of the night. The other 2 have gone out absolutely perfect, so hopefully we can make it a full house. Give ourselves 3 really good chances for tonight. Boom, that's perfect. That's the first bit done. Just need the fish to play ball now. Well, they have gone out as good as we can hope for. So we've done our bit, but I've promised Gaz I will cook him up one of my bankside delights for all his hard work today. I'm going to get tidied up and make Gaz some dinner. Well, good morning, and what a beautiful September's morning it is, but sadly no fish to report. I haven't really got any great excuses. The only thing I can say is it went quite cool last night, and the night before was very, very mild. Temperatures the night before were about 16, 17 degrees. Last night I think it was down to about 12, so not dramatic, but enough, and it was very clear as well last night. It wasn't cloudy like the previous night, so that's definitely affected their behaviour. The shows were very limited and just didn't really hear a lot of activity going on. We've got a little bit of time still. We've still got the morning up until about 1 o'clock, and we're about 8 o'clock now, I think. We've got a bit of photography to do and a few little bits, so the rods are still going to stay out. I've had bites on here very late in the morning for it, especially when it's really bright like this, which can be obviously quite unusual for many places. Bite time can be over by sort of 7, 8 o'clock, not here, certainly can be extended. So we're going to have another cup of tea and we're going to just watch the rods and hopefully we can sign off with a carp. But if we don't, we will be saying goodbye a little bit later on and let you know how you can win those Downpour items. So until then, fingers crossed, we can have another one and sign off in style. Well, unfortunately, we're not going to be signing off with a carp this time. It hasn't happened this morning, but I'm certainly not despondent. That 4-fish haul yesterday morning, topped by that incredible mirror, has more than made this session. Now, all that's left for me to do is to tell you how you can win that great Downpour carryall and Downpour bedchair bag. It couldn't be simpler. You must subscribe to the YouTube channel, then in the comments below, guess the weight of that lovely common that I held up yesterday morning for the camera. The winner will be picked at random and you will be sent one of the new Downpour carryalls and Downpour bedchair bags. So that's it now. We're going to get packed up and hit the road, and we look forward to seeing you next time, where hopefully we're going to be at the iconic Horseshoe Lake.